Urgent Cleveland Browns fans, do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Cleveland Browns updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey Browns fans, today we're diving deep into a story that's got everyone talking, the recent debut of Shedeur Sanders in the NFL, specifically with the Cleveland Browns, and how this impacts not only the team's current season but also its future. It's a roller coaster, folks, with so many layers to peel back. We're talking about a rookie quarterback thrown into the fire under very specific circumstances, the coach's latest decisions, and what this all means for the Browns' ongoing quest for a playoff spot. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's unpack everything because this story is far from over. Now, let's set the scene. It's Week 11 and the Cleveland Browns are facing a crucial game against the Baltimore Ravens. The game was already a tense affair, but things took a turn early on when Dillon Gabriel, the team's starting quarterback, suffered a concussion in the first half. This injury was not just a minor scare. It was a significant blow that forced Gabriel out of the game much sooner than anyone expected. Gabriel, who had been under pressure to perform better after some inconsistent outings, was showing some signs of promise, but that concussion changed everything. Suddenly, the Browns found themselves in uncharted territory, with their backup quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, stepping in for his first regular season snaps in the NFL. For those of you who might not be fully aware, Shedeur Sanders is the son of the legendary Deion Sanders, and coming into the league with such a high-profile background always adds an extra layer of scrutiny. His debut was highly anticipated, but also filled with questions. How would he handle the pressure? Could he adapt quickly to the NFL's speed and complexity? And most importantly, could he help the Browns stay competitive in a game that was already shaping up to be a tough one? Well, the results were, let's say, mixed. Sanders completed only 4 of 16 passes for 47 yards, and he threw an interception. Not exactly the kind of debut that would make Browns fans breathe easy. The team lost 23-16, and many wondered, was this just a rough first outing or a sign of bigger challenges ahead? Now, I know what you're thinking. It's tempting to jump to conclusions about Sanders' potential based on this one game. But let's take a step back and analyze what really happened. First, it's important to remember that he was thrust into action unexpectedly and under very difficult circumstances. Coming in after Gabriel's injury with the game already in progress is no easy task for any quarterback, let alone a rookie. His completion percentage of just 25%, 4-4-16, looks bad on paper, but context matters. He was facing a tough Ravens defense, one that's known for its physicality and aggressive pass rush. Plus, the game situation meant he was under constant pressure to make plays, something that can be overwhelming for a young QB in his first NFL start. Sanders also showed some flashes of mobility, rushing for 16 yards on 3 carries. That's an encouraging sign because it indicates he's willing to use his legs and can extend plays when needed. But ultimately, the biggest question mark remains. Can he develop into a reliable option for this team? The Browns are in a transitional phase at the quarterback position, and although Gabriel has been inconsistent, with his performances in recent weeks leaving a lot to be desired, the coaching staff appears to still trust him to be the starter once he clears concussion protocols. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, openly said that Gabriel will likely start again next week against the Las Vegas Raiders, provided he's healthy enough to play. That statement from Stefanski is significant because it reflects the current hierarchy and the team's cautious approach to quarterback development. But it also raises a critical question. Should the Browns consider giving Sanders more opportunities, even if Gabriel is cleared? After all, Gabriel's recent performances have been underwhelming. In Week 11, he completed just 7 of 10 passes for 68 yards, numbers that don't exactly scream elite quarterback. Since taking over as the starter, Gabriel's team has gone 1-5, and the offense has struggled to find consistency. Is it time for Cleveland to start thinking outside the box and give Sanders a real shot? While it's true that Sanders' first NFL outing wasn't perfect, it's also important to recognize that rookies often take time to adjust, especially quarterbacks. Some of the league's biggest stars had rocky beginnings. Think about Patrick Mahomes' early bumps or even Josh Allen's initial struggles. The difference here is that Sanders is in a Cleveland offense that's still trying to find its identity, with a defense that's capable of keeping games close and giving the young quarterback a chance to grow. The coaching staff has to ask themselves, what is the best path forward? Do they stick with Gabriel, hoping he finds consistency, or do they explore giving Sanders more reps to evaluate his potential? This is where the coaching philosophy becomes critical. Kevin Stefanski is known for his balanced approach. He's a coach who values process, game management, and making decisions based on what's best for the team in the short and long term. But with the season hanging in the balance, each game is a mini playoff for the Browns. The margin for error is razor thin, and every decision about the quarterback position could have ripple effects that last for years. The Browns' front office and coaching staff have historically been cautious, especially with young quarterbacks, but recent events might force them to reconsider. Now, let's talk about the implications of this debut for the Browns season. With a 6-4 record after Week 11, the Browns are still firmly in the playoff hunt, but they need consistency and stability at the quarterback position to really push forward. The AFC is stacked, with teams like Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati all fighting for playoff positioning, so every game counts. The loss to Baltimore was a setback, but it also highlighted the need for the Browns to have a reliable signal caller who can perform under pressure. Looking at Sanders' performance, it's clear he needs development, but it's equally clear that he possesses some tools that could be valuable. His mobility, his arm strength, and his poise under pressure, when he's given more time, could make him a real asset in the future. The question is whether the Browns should accelerate that development now or continue to rely on Gabriel, who's been battling inconsistency and injury issues. It's a tough call, but one that could define the trajectory of the franchise for the next few seasons. A bigger part of this discussion involves the team's overall offensive scheme. Kevin Stefanski is known for his run-heavy approach, emphasizing ball control and efficient passing. His offense has historically been reliant on a strong running game, but in recent weeks, there's been a shift towards more aggressive passing, trying to capitalize on the arm talent of young quarterbacks. With Deshaun Watson still recovering from injury and Gabriel's recent struggles, the Browns find themselves at a crossroads. Do they double down on the run game, or do they start trusting their young quarterback more? Sanders' debut, despite its rough edges, hints that he could be a part of that equation in the near future. And what about the upcoming schedule? The Browns will face the Raiders next week, a team that's been inconsistent but has a solid defense that could pose challenges for any quarterback. If Gabriel isn't fully healthy or if the coaching staff feels he's not performing at his best, we might see Sanders get another shot sooner than expected. The AFC North rivals, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, loom large on the schedule, and each game becomes even more critical if Cleveland hopes to secure a playoff spot. The playoff picture is tightening, and every decision at quarterback could tip the scales. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. The Browns are a franchise with a rich history, filled with ups and downs, and they've always been a team that's just a quarterback away from real contention. The recent debut of Sanders is a chapter in that ongoing story. It's a reminder that the NFL is a league where patience is tested, but also where bold moves can define legacies. Do the Browns have a future star in Sanders, or is he still too raw to trust with the season on the line? That's the question on everyone's mind. Further, this situation puts a spotlight on the team's talent evaluation and development system. The Browns have invested heavily in their coaching staff and scouting departments, and now it's time for them to show that they can nurture young talent like Sanders. His physical tools are undeniable, but the mental and procedural aspects of being an NFL quarterback are what will ultimately determine his success. The coaching staff needs to be patient, but also decisive, balancing development with the urgency of winning now. And let's not forget the fans' perspective. Browns fans are among the most passionate in the league, and they've seen their fair share of quarterback turmoil over the years. The hope is that Sanders can be the answer, but hope isn't enough. They want results. They want consistency. Watching a rookie stumble in his first game can be disheartening, but it can also be a sign of potential if handled correctly. Will the coaching staff give him more opportunities? Will they trust his arm and legs to keep the offense moving? These are the questions that will dominate conversations in the coming weeks. As we look ahead, it's also worth mentioning the ripple effects this could have beyond just the quarterback position. The offensive line, which has had its share of struggles, will need to protect Sanders better if he gets more snaps. The receiving core, led by the likes of Amari Cooper, will need to step up and provide reliable options. Special teams and defensive units will play a crucial role in keeping the game within reach, especially if the offense is still finding its footing. The Browns are a team with a lot of moving parts, and the quarterback situation is the keystone. In terms of expectations, many experts have pointed out that Cleveland's window for a deep playoff run is still open, but the window is closing if they don't find stability at quarterback. The coaching staff's decision to stick with Gabriel, at least for now, suggests they're prioritizing experience and familiarity. But if the season continues to falter and the offense remains inconsistent, we might see Sanders getting more opportunities to showcase his talent. It's a delicate balance, and it's a decision that will likely be debated among fans and analysts alike. Now, let's talk about the future. What can we expect in the coming weeks? Well, for starters, Brown's next injury report will be crucial. If Gabriel isn't cleared from the concussion protocol, Sanders could get another shot sooner than anyone anticipated. Even if Gabriel is healthy, the coaching staff might consider giving Sanders more reps in practice or even in game situations, especially if they believe he offers a spark that the current offense lacks. The Browns' management has to weigh short-term results against long-term development, and that's never an easy call. Looking further ahead, the team's draft and free agency plans could be influenced by how Sanders performs if he gets more playing time. If he shows signs of growth, the Browns might prioritize adding more weapons or offensive line help to support him. Conversely, if he struggles, they might look to veteran options or even consider a different approach in the offseason. The landscape of the NFL is always shifting, and Cleveland's decisions now could shape their trajectory for years to come. Finally, I want to bring this full circle. The story of Sanders' debut is about more than just one game. It's about hope, patience, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. The Browns are a team that's been building towards something special, and this quarterback saga is a crucial chapter in that ongoing story. Whether Sanders becomes the franchise quarterback or not, this moment underscores the importance of resilience and trust in the process. The season isn't over yet, and there's still plenty of football to be played. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Are you encouraged by Sanders' potential, or do you believe the team should stick with Gabriel, at least for now? How do you see this quarterback situation evolving in the next few weeks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. And remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, injury reports, and analysis. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Browns. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and IT makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. Now, let's drill down into some historical context. The Cleveland Browns have always been a franchise defined by resilience and a quest for identity. From their early days of reestablishment in the league to the recent years of rebuilding, the quest for a reliable quarterback has been a constant theme. Remember when they drafted Baker Mayfield and the hopes that it would finally bring stability, or the brief flashes of brilliance from Deshaun Watson before his injury. Each of these stories feeds into the current narrative. Can Sanders be the next chapter? Or will the Browns have to keep searching? Looking at the last few seasons, Cleveland has experienced a roller coaster of emotions. The 2020 season, marked by a playoff appearance, was a high point, but since then, inconsistency has crept back into the team's performance. The defense has been solid, especially with players like Myles Garrett anchoring the line, but the offense has often been the Achilles heel. The quarterback position, in particular, has been a revolving door from Mayfield to Brissett, Watson, and Gabriel. The coaching staff has been trying to find the right mix, and now, with Sanders' debut, that search is entering a new phase. In terms of statistics, Gabriel's recent numbers have been underwhelming. His completion rate of 70% in Week 11, while seemingly decent, masks the lack of big plays and scoring potential. His yards per attempt hover around 8, which is below league average, and his interception rate has increased. Meanwhile, Sanders' debut, despite its struggles, showed a different kind of potential: mobility, arm strength, and a certain calm under pressure. These are factors that can't be fully captured in a box score but are crucial for a quarterback's development. When comparing Sanders' early performance with other rookie quarterbacks across the league, it's clear that patience is key. Justin Herbert, for example, had a rough start in his rookie year but quickly developed into an elite player. Conversely, players like Josh Allen faced early struggles but eventually blossomed into franchise cornerstones. The Browns need to decide whether Sanders has that kind of upside or if he's destined to be a backup or a developmental project. It's a nuanced decision, and one that involves evaluating not just raw talent, but also football IQ, work ethic, and the coaching environment. As we analyze the potential impact on the team, it's clear that the Browns' immediate goal is to make the playoffs. With only a handful of games left, every decision counts. The front office and coaching staff are under immense pressure to maximize their chances, and that means making tough choices about who should lead the offense. If Gabriel's concussion recovery delays his return, or if the team's performance continues to falter, Sanders could be thrust into a more prominent role sooner than expected. That scenario, while risky, could also be an opportunity for him to showcase his talent on a bigger stage. Looking ahead, the upcoming games will be critical. The Raiders present a challenge because they are known for their unpredictability. Their defense has some vulnerabilities, but they also have playmakers who can exploit mistakes. For Sanders, This is a chance to prove that he can handle NFL defenses and make smart decisions under pressure. The coaching staff will be watching closely, evaluating his progress and determining whether he's ready to lead the team in a more significant way. It's also worth considering how this quarterback situation affects the team's long-term strategy. The Browns have invested heavily in their roster, especially on the defensive side, but their success hinges on finding stability at quarterback. If Sanders shows promise, it could influence future draft picks, free agency decisions, and even coaching philosophies. The team might prioritize developing him as the future or look for veteran backup options to support him if needed. Finally, as Browns fans, we're all eager to see how this story unfolds. The NFL is a league of surprises, and the journey of a young quarterback like Sanders is filled with ups and downs. The key is patience, trust in the coaching staff, and a bit of hope that this young man can grow into the leader Cleveland desperately needs. Remember, every great quarterback faced adversity early in their careers. The question is, will Sanders be able to turn his debut into a stepping stone for greatness, or will he need more time to develop? Only time will tell. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Sanders can be the future of the franchise, or do you think the team should stick with Gabriel and wait for him to find his rhythm? How do you see this quarterback battle evolving over the next few weeks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter not just to me but to the entire Browns community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, injury reports, and deep dives into everything Browns. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the conversation going. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This story is still developing, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The Browns are at a crossroads, and every decision in the coming weeks will shape their future. Whether Sanders becomes the star they're hoping for or remains a promising but unproven rookie, one thing is certain: Cleveland is watching, and the NFL is watching too. Let's see how this chapter unfolds. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. I promise we'll keep bringing you the most comprehensive coverage of the Browns, always aiming to keep you informed, engaged, and excited for every game. And remember, folks, the NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint. The Browns have shown resilience before, and they're capable of overcoming adversity. The question is, do they have what it takes to turn this quarterback challenge into a success story? We'll find out soon enough. Until then, stay passionate, stay loyal, and as always, go Browns.